Ibrahim Traoré is making a bold move. This is a bold
of the land ownership, especially those that were colonized.
I am Ibrahim Traoré, and today I'm pulling off your masks.
Locals, they have ownership. They can run it. They can do whatever they please.
And Africa needs to understand that they are of themselves self-sufficient. They are sufficient of them.
What if a nation took back every inch of its land from foreign control overnight? Burkina Faso, led by Traore, has launched free land distribution to its citizens. Could this be Africa's most daring and transformative move yet? Let's dive in and find out. Chapter 1. Burkina Faso's Revolutionary Land Reform. Think about a country where every single piece of land, urban neighborhoods, rural farms, sacred grounds, is owned by the state. That's exactly what Burkina Faso has done. They've officially nationalized all the land. No more private ownership, especially by foreigners or wealthy elites who used to control huge chunks. Here's the bold part. Foreigners are permanently banned from owning land. They can't buy it, ever. Instead, they can only lease land for limited periods, 18 years for short-term projects, or up to 99 years for strategic uses. This is a firm no to foreign land grabbing, which has been a huge problem across Africa for decades. But what about the people who live there? Citizens no longer buy land. Instead, they get access based on national belonging. This means land is no longer a commodity to be bought and sold like a product. It's a right tied to who you are as a Burkinabe. This flips the old system on its head and ends the cycle of land exploitation by outsiders and local elites. The state now acts as the custodian of the land, managing it as a public trust rather than selling it off. This shift allows for better planning and development because infrastructure projects won't get blocked by private landowners anymore. It's a radical change that puts the country's future in the hands of its people. Chapter 2. Empowering the people. So, who benefits from this massive change? The government made it clear. Subsistence farmers, women's cooperatives, and youth entrepreneurs are the priority. Many rural farmers have worked the land for generations without owning it. Now, they're getting rightful access to the land they've always depended on. Not as charity, but as restoration of justice. Plus, they're receiving support like irrigation systems, training, and access to agricultural programs to help them thrive. Women, who make up the backbone of African agriculture, but often lack land ownership, are finally empowered. The reform grants women direct access to land and resources, especially through cooperatives. This isn't just about fairness, it's a proven way to boost food security and strengthen communities. And what about the youth? With half of Burkina Faso's population under 17, the government is investing heavily in young people. They're encouraging young people to become agro-entrepreneurs, focusing on climate-resilient farming, tech-based agriculture, solar drying, and other innovative methods. This approach aims to make farming not just for survival, but for profit and sustainability, reversing urban migration trends. Chapter 3. Food sovereignty and local industry. Let's talk about the big economic shift happening in Burkina Faso. This land reform isn't just about who owns the land. It's about changing the entire way the country feeds itself and builds its economy. For years, Burkina Faso, like many African nations, focused on growing crops mainly for export, luxury goods that benefit foreign investors but don't necessarily feed local people. Now, Burkina Faso is flipping the script with a focus on food sovereignty. Simply put, this means growing food for the people first, not for export profits. Crops once destined for overseas markets are now redirected to feed the Burkinabe population. This shift tackles hunger and malnutrition directly, prioritizing people's health and well-being over corporate gains. But it doesn't stop farming. Burkina Faso is actively building local industry around agriculture. Factories and processing plants owned by Burkinabe entrepreneurs, not foreign corporations, are turning raw crops into products like tomato paste, grain flour, and dairy goods. This creates jobs, keeps money circulating locally, and strengthens economic resilience. Their motto says it all: grow local, process local, consume local. This powerful approach breaks the cycle of exporting raw materials and importing finished goods, reclaiming economic control and paving the way for true economic decolonization. Chapter 4. Clarity, Stability, and Legal Reform. Now, one of the biggest challenges when it comes to land in Africa is confusion and conflict over who owns what. Fake deeds, corruption, land grabbing, and endless legal battles have plagued many countries for years. Burkina Faso's reform addresses this problem head-on. By nationalizing all land and centralizing land records, the government is creating clarity and stability in land rights. This means no more shady deals, fake ownership claims, or bribery to secure land. When land rights are clear and transparent, it reduces disputes and creates security for farmers, builders, and entrepreneurs. Think about it. When you know that the land you're farming or building on is yours to use, you're more likely to invest in it. You'll plant better crops, build homes, and develop businesses because you have peace of mind. The government is stepping in as a steward, not a seller. It's safeguarding land as a public trust and strategic asset rather than selling it off to the highest bidder. This prevents land hoarding and speculation, which often leads to inequality and wasted resources. This legal clarity and stability are essential for long-term development. It's the foundation that allows Burkina Faso to plan infrastructure, attract responsible investment, and empower its people to build their futures on solid ground. Chapter 5: Africa's New Land Movement. Here's the exciting part. Burkina Faso's land reform isn't just a national story, it's part of a growing movement across Africa. The reform draws inspiration from South Africa's 2024-25 land expropriation drive, a bold effort to reclaim land from colonial and apartheid-era injustices. South Africa faced intense backlash, political pressure, economic threats, and international criticism, but they stood firm. Their courage inspired others, and Burkina Faso took that inspiration and ran with it. Burkina Faso acted quickly and decisively, refusing to negotiate away its sovereignty or delay reforms for foreign approval. This has sparked a pan-African solidarity movement. Countries like Mali, Niger, and Zimbabwe are watching closely, considering similar policies that put land back into the hands of their people. The new rallying cry is clear: land for Africans, by Africans. This isn't just about land, it's about reclaiming economic independence, cultural identity, and political power. It's a rejection of the old systems that allowed foreign powers and local elites to control resources at the expense of ordinary people. This movement also challenges global order. Western governments and investors have criticized these reforms, calling them reckless and threatening sanctions or aid cuts. But leaders like Captain Ibrahim Traoré see this resistance as proof that they're on the right path. They understand that true sovereignty comes with a price, and that price is worth paying to build a future that belongs to Africans, not outsiders. Chapter 6: Global Reaction and Burkina Faso's Defiance. So, here's where things get intense. When Burkina Faso announced this radical land reform, the Western media and governments didn't hold back. Many labeled the move as reckless and dangerous. Aid programs were suspended, foreign investment deals were put on ice, and diplomatic pressure started pouring in. Economic threats and warnings about instability became the new normal. Burkina Faso's government, led by Captain Ibrahim Traoré, isn't backing down. They see this foreign pushback as a sign they're doing something right. To them, it's proof that they're challenging the old order and reclaiming true sovereignty. Traoré's message is clear. Sovereignty doesn't come from foreign aid or investors. It comes from the land and the people. The government isn't closing the door to foreign investors, but there's a catch. Investors are welcome only on Burkina Faso's terms. That means any land leases must serve national interests, not just extract profits for outsiders. It's about strategic partnerships that respect the country's autonomy and development goals. This stance is bold and unapologetic. It's a declaration that Burkina Faso will no longer be pushed around or dictated to by external powers. Instead, they're charting their own path, one that prioritizes their people's future over short-term foreign gains. Chapter 7: Reclaiming Legacy and Identity. Now let's zoom out and see the bigger picture behind this reform. What Burkina Faso is doing isn't just about land, it's about undoing centuries of colonial and apartheid-era injustices. For generations, African land was stolen, divided, and controlled by foreign powers and local elites. This reform aims to correct deep-rooted inequality. This isn't just a one-off policy change. It's the start of a continental shift in how land is owned and managed. Across Africa, there's a growing movement to reclaim land, identity, and economic control. Burkina Faso's reform is a powerful symbol of this awakening. Think of it as a civilizational restoration, a way to rebuild not only the economy, but also the cultural and political foundations of African nations. It's about reclaiming what was lost and redefining what land means for African people. And here's the key. The goal isn't just ownership, it's empowerment. Land is seen as a birthright and a duty foundation for building prosperity, dignity, and self-reliance. This reform carries strategic, economic, and cultural weight far beyond the headlines. So, when you look at Burkina Faso's land reform, you're witnessing more than a policy. It's a movement toward justice, sovereignty, and a new African future. And that's something truly historic. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to more insightful content. Thanks for watching.